And hello YouTube, this is Thomas Judge back once again, and today we are looking at Fairest trade paperback volume 6, which is actually called Fairest in All the Land, and technically isn't a trade paperback, it's a graphic novel, or more accurately an original graphic novel or an OGN. Just to recap, in this series I'm reading the entirety of the Fables cinematic universe, for want of a better term. And as part of the Fables universe, I've been reading all the hardcovers. I've read all the main series, there's 15 hardcovers. I've read Jack of Fables, and now we're plumbing the depths of things that haven't been collected as traditional oversized hardcovers. The Fairest series focuses on the kind of the Disney princess type characters, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Briar Rose, Snow White, all that sort of stuff, technically. And it's a spin-off from the main series. It's set contemporaneously with the latter part of that series. In fact, the 33 single issues that comprise Fairest were all released from after about 2012 up until about 2015. They only collected as trade paperbacks, and the one we're looking at today, trade paperback 6 or collection 6, as it's often referred to, is the final one in the Fairest run. It doesn't collect any single issues, and it is an original graphic novel as it was published in a one and done. And from what I'm aware of, it was only ever published as a standard size hardcover. It's actually not available as a paperback of any kind. So what that means is having this on my shelf, I've got Fairest 1 to 5 as trade paperbacks, and then I have Fairest in All the Land as a standard size hardcover, the same size, shape, everything else. It has, in fact, got a dust jacket as well. So it looks slightly incongruous on my shelf, but there we are. And that's the one that we read today. So this original graphic novel actually picks up directly after the end of Fairest issue 33, but also picks up certain threads from earlier issues of Fairest, so Fairest volume 1, which was trade paperback called Wide Awake. It also picks up a bunch of dangling threads from round about this era of Fables. So various things there revolving around Brock the Badger, otherwise known as Stinky, and also some stuff about what's happening with Bigby and bits and pieces. It all kind of comes together and kind of works in Fairest and All the Land. Um, I'll be totally candid. Absolutely loved this. Kind of unsurprising given that the protagonist for this is Cinderella, and Cinderella is hands down my favorite Fables character within the comic series by a massive margin. Um, I was expecting this to be a bit of a mess, and I was expecting it to actually not enjoy it, even though I knew it was kind of Cinderella focused. Because all I knew about it is it had 30 different artists on it, and it comprises 30 different vignettes or short stories, those short stories being literally 2 or 3 pages a piece. And frankly, comics that are like that are generally just kind of thoughtless in the sense that not much thinking goes into them. They're kind of just one and done disposable mini stories, filler. Not even filler issues, filler vignettes that all comprise one giant filler issue composed of nothing but vignettes. That's how this seems, Fairest in All the Land, but that's not how it is. It's one continuous story from start to finish. It's bookended by two prose vignettes, so just text and writing and nothing else. And that's how it starts, and that's how it ends. And in between, you've got something like 28 short vignette scenes, all done by different artists, that are all really, really interesting, well put together, well composed, and comprise one singular story. The basic premise of Fairest and All the Land is that Cinderella has kind of assumed a bit of a sheriff detective role in the absence of Bigby, which, if you've been reading the main Fable series, you'll understand what that is. And long story short, um, people are dying. People are being killed. In fact, the fairest in all the land are being killed. So by that I mean the Disney princess type characters. And what Cinderella has to do is track down and work out exactly what's happening, who's doing it, and what can be done to kind of avenge them or to fix what's been going on. Obviously, keeping in mind that when fables get killed, they don't necessarily die because it's kind of related to their magical powers and how embedded they are in the general kind of gestalt social awareness and belief in that particular character. Anyway, it's set over 7 days. Got a bunch of vignettes throughout. It's Cinderella in the lead for most of them, but really interesting. Some of the artwork is amazing. Some of it is just kind of passable and doable. Mark Buckingham does in fact draw one of these vignettes as well. The story as a whole is good. It's interesting. It's a really nice side story to the Fables general kind of storyline and arc. I really enjoyed it. Um, really enjoyed it. I have to say, really like this. I would recommend it. I'm glad I have it. I'm glad I have it in a hardcover. It's a bit of a shame it's not in an oversized hardcover. But yeah, it's a really nice capstone to the Fairest series. Looking at the six trade paperbacks or five trade paperbacks and one OGN for Fairest that we looked at so far, it's a series of some highs and lows. I really liked the first bit, which was about Briar Rose. I was somewhat less enamored with some of the later ones, like the Return of the Maharaja and things like that. I did, however, really like the Cinderella one and Of Mice and Men, and of course Fairest and All the Land. So it's a bit hit and miss. I'm not sure it's worth going to the effort of trying to make a custom bind of any kind with this. Um, Although I guess Fairest and All the Land, I don't know. I'm really glad it's a hardcover, but I did really, really like it. I'm going to hold my opinion or my decision on what I'm going to do next in abeyance in anticipation of our next bit of homework. So after Fairest, we've got a couple of options of stuff we can read. And frankly, what I'm going to try and do is course correct something that I should have read earlier but didn't, which is the two Cinderella six-issue series. There are two of these, and they're actually referenced in the Cinderella trade paperback collection of Mice and Men, which is within Fairest. I think it's Fairest Volume 4. And so, what I want to do is I'm going to read these Cinderella spin off miniseries prior to going anywhere else. The first miniseries is called Cinderella from Fabletown with Love. We're going to read that. And then that'll be next week. And then the week after will be Cinderella Fables Are Forever, which is the sequel to Cinderella from Fabletown with Love. So those are going to be the next 2 weeks. Those are our next two bits of homework. I've got them as trade paperbacks. They're not available as hardcover in any case, regular size or oversize. So yeah, that's what we're doing next. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will catch everyone next week. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. As always, please follow me on Twitter at I am Thomas Judge, where I will post a daily review of whatever comics I've been reading. You can get an idea of what I'm up to on the channel. And as always, please support the channel by heading over to Amazon.com and checking out my prose novel about superheroes. It's a completely original piece of work. The first episode in it is called Arrivals, and the series as a whole is called No Gods or Kings. You can find an excerpt of that on my website, nogodsorkings.com. Until next time, everybody, stay classy.